All right, so this is really just for me, so I can like sync it up while I'm editing and shit. Like this won't really be in it unless I include the bloopers. I'm just gonna get like a joint lit.
Fuck yeah. Joint time. I don't know why I'm talking like that. I don't even smoke.
Fuck yeah,
You
joint
know what I
time.
mean? Fuck
You're
yeah,
you're,
joint
you're
time.
doing that like gamer speak. I'll
He's jointing. He's jointing. He's lighting up.
be right back.
He's lighting up on me. He's one tap. Hey guys, Matthew couldn't make it. He got into a fatal car accident. So this is gonna be a solo Liam episode. Matthew was here 5 minutes ago. He's just. Oh my god, he's alive. Holy shit. You were smeared on the sidewalk, man. What the fuck happened?
Have you ever watched Tokyo Drift?
I've never seen that in my life.
Dude, that's some real OG ass sauce for me.
Yeah?
Like I think Tokyo Drift is kind of probably the reason why I have my hair the way it is now. Um,
So it's one of those. It's a movie, right?
it's a movie. It's like, have you ever heard of Fast and the Furious?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I know of Tokyo Drift.
You know of Tokyo Drift, but you never watched it.
Never watched it.
So basically, yeah, it's like the Asian version of being like badasses who drive cars. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I gotcha.
But welcome back to the fucking Matthew Makes a podcast with Liam again.
With Liam. Hello.
Yeah, I'm gonna get this joint lit. But you said you have like some topics you wanted to talk about, so
Oh,
you
shit.
can
Okay.
introduce it to them while I'm getting it lit up.
Well, I have a story to tell, but we'll get into that. We can get into that a little bit later. We were talking about some stuff earlier today that I want to get into. First of all, it's been a minute. My hair has grown. My hair has grown to show that time has passed. So, yeah, I'm rocking with that. But yeah, I have some interesting topics to get into today when you're ready. I'm gonna say the
Yeah, I do
story.
too, man. I do too.
So we were talking a little bit earlier about remember that thing I told you, put a pin in that, that's good for the pod.
Mm.
Talking about love.
Oh, okay. So I wanted to talk about. I asked Eliam earlier if he believed if love was an event that happened to you, like if love was passive, or if love is something you bring into your life actively, like through the active pursuit of love, and like which one is maybe not like truer, but like
Which
I
one
guess
feels more accurate. Yeah.
yeah.
It is. That's a good question, but it depends. I think it's both. I think it can be both in different situations, but I don't know. For me, love is like it's both active and passive. It's active in the way that I pursue it. It's something that I seek out. I go to meet new people. I make moves when I'm interested in someone. I am usually the one who starts those conversations, things like that. Like when something is going to get intimate or romantic. But it's passive in the sense of like I don't really choose to do that. It's like a setting in my brain, and once that setting is flipped on, it's like, okay, we're looking for love.
Would you say that it almost feels like biologically induced?
I This is actually a lot to unpack for me specifically. Um I feel like the reason why I pursue like affection and connection with people is for a combination of different reasons. Yes, it's absolutely biological. I feel like it's a human need
Right.
to be loved and all that stuff.
Right.
But like for me there's also like a social aspect to it, and there's almost a degree of expectation and fulfillment. Like
Social, like beyond just the one person you're
yeah,
interested in.
it's so I'm gonna unpack a little bit of Liam lore for a bit. This is like the kind of shit I should tell my therapist.
Okay.
Um
I love that. I want the podcast to honestly move more towards that, like therapy sessions.
my when my mom was younger, like when she was around my age,
Uh-huh.
she she had hella game. She had insane amounts of game. She would go out to the clubs all the time. She was alternative. She was punk. She was goth before there was a word for goth. Do you want to know what they called her?
What?
They called her a death bitch.
A death bitch.
A death bitch. Because in the 80s, goth and emo and all that stuff didn't exist yet. My mom was a death bitch. She wore black. She listened to all of this, like, angsty alternative music. And, like, she was a death bitch. Like, that's what they called her. But she was at clubs all the time. She got around a lot. She was very active.
Like sexually?
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. One time I asked my mom what her body count was, and she had to think about it for like a solid 5 minutes, and she was like...
I feel like that's kind of soul-crushing as a son. Just like...
No, I mean, my mom and I have always been very open about this kind of thing. Like,
oh, yeah?
Like, I would literally be like, Mom, stay in your room. I'm going to have sex with this girl. And she's
Oh,
like,
my
God,
God, dude.
You know what I mean? Like, my mom and I have a very open relationship when we talk about this kind of thing specifically. Fuck.
Well, there go.
There
what
go
time
the
is
lights.
it? 11:07.
11:07.
I bet you whoever the fuck was on the goddamn cameras was watching us and was like, "You're done, buddy.
They want us to fuck off really bad.
Go away." But we're gonna pause and then
I'll hold that thought.
hold the thought. Yeah.
I think the big tangle of wires is always really like funny and interesting to me because it feels so like professional. You know what I mean?
It feels professional.
Yeah, being tangled in a bunch of wires, it just feels very studio.
To me, this feels so DIY. This
No,
feels so
no.
like...
Like, it doesn't matter how high quality the studio that you're recording is. Like, if you're recording music, recording a podcast, doesn't matter what it is. As long as you're recording
there's always
anything,
like a tangle of
yeah,
wires.
have you ever been to a concert and actually like looked on the stage? Wires fucking everywhere. Fucking everywhere.
That's true.
All over the place. You got like 7 pedals and like 3 different guitars that are plugged in at once. Plus a
But to me,
spare.
that's also like concerts that are like for small venues with like
no.
non-professionals.
No way. Like, even if you're going to a big concert, it's still the same situation because
Really?
like, yeah, because like, think about it. They use different pedals for different songs, so they need every pedal that they're potentially going to use hooked up to their guitar at the same time.
I guess this is different for me and you because I definitely go to a lot more like hip hop concerts
Yeah.
where it's like,
I'm very like indie alternative.
yeah,
Yeah.
and the artists that you watch live actually need like a lot
I
of
literally-
tools to perform live, whereas mine just need like a backing
Yeah.
track and like a microphone because that's all their fucking music is.
I literally listen to an entire type of music that's called shoegaze. Which,
Mhm.
do you know shoegaze?
No.
Well, for the viewers at home, and also apparently Matthew.
Oh, and we also, since we're resuming here, by
Yeah.
the way, we're gonna talk about Liam's mom's sex life. So I just remembered that. So
Yeah, we are gonna get back to that. I promise that has a point.
yeah, I promise we didn't just cut into a random conversation.
No, we just got here, but I have ADHD, so as Matthew was sitting back down, I was like, oh, I should probably bring up this random fucking thought that came into my mind that has absolutely no context and is completely unrelated to what you were literally just watching. Yeah, no, shoegaze is specifically called that because the guitarists in the band are always staring down at their shoes because that's where they have 12 different pedals.
Oh.
That's why it's called shoegaze.
I feel like shoegaze should also just be like a genre for sad people, just like people
That's
who
what I
look
thought
down
shoegaze
all
meant.
the time. Like fucking me. I actually, someone who watches the podcast, Nadine. I was talking to Christian about it. I guess I didn't know it was called shoegaze at the time, right?
Yeah.
But I was talking about how I used to always look down at the ground, and I had to like, as I got older, train myself to like look up at people. You know what I
Yeah.
mean?
I think I did the same.
And I feel like there may be a lot of people who just like are shoegazers.
Yeah, I feel like that's a very, like shoegazers. You know, I was a shoegazer.
I'm dead. That's I'm
I
fucking
would-
making that the title of this podcast.
Yeah, shoegazers. That's good. And you better. We were just talking about this. We literally mentioned the potential name of the last podcast episode I was in.
All right,
call
all right. This one's actually titleable though. This one's in the.
Yeah, is it?
Because if I titled the last one, I would have had to put like in the parentheses like my friend Liam. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Fair
but
enough.
you know, this one's titleable. It's like our first like
Oh yeah,
free
that is
base
fair.
podcast.
This is titleable. The last one needed a title to introduce who the fuck I am and the fact that I'm here.
Yeah, and it was the first like guest podcast that I ever did.
Yeah, which is cool. I feel cool being like the first.
Yeah, one day I'll have, dude. It would be so cool if one
We
day
have
it
Ice
was like,
Spice in this chair one day.
dude. Oh my god.
Oh my god.
You know, Ice Spice isn't that much older than us.
Yeah.
Ice
it's fucking wild.
Spice
Billie Eilish
please.
is a year older than us.
makes me cry sometimes.
Makes me so sad.
Makes
I'm
me
like,
like a little jelly, a little. But you know
why
what?
can't I be an industry plant?
Also, like, I just wish I knew her. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like, that's about it. I'm not
Her
even
music,
like.
yeah, no, I completely get that. I
like,
am fully
above-
attracted to her, but her music is so good that I just want to meet her. Like I want.
Like, I just
want
to be her friend. Really.
I want to hang out with her. I want to know where all that comes from.
Literally, and then it's like I want to see how she writes, so that maybe. Because, like, I feel like I've never met anyone who can really write a song. You know what I mean? And then it's
Yeah.
like, the way I learn is I look at someone who's doing something and I
Yeah.
kind of, like, copy it or, like, I observe it in a way and,
Yeah,
like,
especially if
mimic
they're
it.
successful.
Yeah, and then, like,
And she's hella successful. She's so successful.
bro, like, it'd just be cool to see her process and all that.
Yeah, that would be cool. I would love to just be in the studio with her while she's making her music, just to like understand
And
the
she's
process.
she's definitely just, like, a really cool fucking person.
Oh,
like,
yeah.
you
Do you
can
follow her
see-
TikTok?
I don't follow. I actually just
Her
saw
TikToks
her.
are funny.
I just saw her post on TikTok, like on my For You page. I was like, "What the fuck? Billie Eilish is on my For You page right now.
Yeah.
This is insane."
It's so crazy. I forget that like every famous person has a TikTok. So occasionally I'll be like, hold on.
I think it's more
This
interesting
fucking-
when they actually post on it.
Yeah.
and like it's not.
like Doja
And they
Cat.
post like real content on it, and
Yeah.
it's not like
It's not just
you know
like
they're in a
promotional
fucking
stuff,
another
yeah.
studio like shooting
Yeah.
some more content for their
Yeah.
life.
Like Cave Town's TikTok is mostly just promotional stuff, but like Doja Cat posts funny content. You know what I mean?
Well, have you seen Doja's like Instagram? I feel like that's
Uh,
where the real turn has taken. Holy shit! Because she used to post like a normal like Instagram
Oh
celebrity,
yeah.
but now she posts like demon shit and
Yeah.
like
Her TikTok is
edits
fucking
of her
unhinged.
looking like really crazy. You know what I
Mhm.
mean? And not crazy like, oh, she looks so crazy good, but like
No,
she
like
looks
insane.
batshit insane.
Batshit insane.
You know? And,
Her
and it's,
TikTok-
I'm sure that's like. I'm not being like, oh, in a bad way. That I'm pretty sure
Yeah.
that's what she wants.
funny.
Yeah, it's like she's achieving what she wants.
Yeah. That's what her TikTok is. Like you go on her TikTok and you would expect like hot girl shit. You know, like I'm a celebrity
Mhm.
and all that. No, it's just unhinged bullshit. You know, it's insane. I love it.
Dude, I feel like she's always like been on that shit though. You know what I mean? Like,
Being crazy.
yeah, but this time it's like instead of being just like kind of weird, she just wants to freak other people out. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because I don't know what your first like exposure to Doja Cat was.
Say so.
Say so. So like that was her like way after she blew up, right?
Mm.
And my first exposure to Doja Cat was when she was like damn near in the stage. Not like I'm not claiming to be in the stages that she was like when she made this song, but like
You
fucking
talking
she
about
was
Moo?
yeah, she was like making songs at home, like fucking dancing in front of a fucking green screen.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like
like weird teenage shit. You know.
just like doing weird and that wasn't even during the pandemic. That
Yeah.
was like while life was
Yeah,
normal. So
yeah.
you weren't like stuck inside doing that shit. You were just like one of us. You know what I mean? Just like one of the guys
Yeah.
who fucking
Yeah, she's one of us for real.
like just internet people who
Yeah.
like I don't know, get it. I feel like a lot of people
Mm.
who I grew up with and people that like succeeded more in like socializing or maybe
Yeah.
even just like going outside more, they struggle now to like integrate into social media
Right,
because it's
yeah.
like I don't want to be like they don't have the eye for it, you know what I mean? But it's
But
like
when you're used
they-
to a different form of interaction.
yeah, it's just like it doesn't come as naturally maybe to like decide what to put out or like fucking even like what they put out themselves. You know what I mean? Like they might take a picture and like even though other people would like it because it's just a picture of them, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like who gives a fuck? They don't like it themselves because it doesn't look like aesthetic
Yeah.
or whatever the fuck, you know what I mean?
I think what you said earlier about Doja Cat,
Mhm.
that like there's this thing that I think happens with celebrities and becoming famous and successful where like when you're just starting out, you don't give a shit. You do whatever you want because it's like no one's watching. You know what I
Mhm.
mean? And then you become successful, and then suddenly you have an image to uphold, and then like you do all these different things to create a brand and all that stuff. And then once you become successful enough, you go back to not caring. You know what I mean? It's like I am here, I am successful. I don't need to maintain
You know
this.
what's
People
funny?
like me.
I feel like I go through that in like many ways of
Yeah.
like succeeding, like kind of like succeeding at what I wanted. You know what I mean? Just
Yeah.
being like, is this really still worth it? You know what I mean?
Well, what are you talking about?
So like let's say the gym, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like if my goal at the beginning was to just like look normal, well, we're done. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like zip, accomplished, achieved. You know
You're
what I
even
mean?
like kind of built, you know?
So I guess, but like you know what I
You're getting
mean?
there.
I fucking what's it called? What were we talking about? I'm gonna cut this out.
We were talking about caring, not caring.
Oh yeah. I feel like yeah, my motivation like waxes and wanes, or like it ebbs and flows like a fucking
Yeah.
river. You know what I mean?
You say that so much, and I love it.
I feel like it's very, yeah. I feel like the reason why I say it is because it's reminiscent of how I interact with life. Like, I can be very intense sometimes, and then I can like fall back to the
Mhm.
wayside, like way to the wayside. You know what I mean? And just be super passive about things.
Mhm.
But I think that. Yeah, I just feel like that just applies to life. Just the
Mhm.
way that like Doja Cat. It's funny that we're like seeing how Doja Cat does it, but it's
Yeah.
really just a human thing. You know what
Yeah.
I mean? That like in life, you're just gonna your motivation itself is gonna like go up and down.
Mhm.
You know, and like
Yeah.
whatever stays constant is gonna be like you. You know.
Yeah. Okay. Are you ready to go back to talking about?
Actually, what I wanted to talk about before. Your mom's sex life.
I did have a point with that. It's so weird that the thing
Right.
you're saying is
So
my
let's-
mom's sex
let's get
life. I do have a
into-
point.
Let's get into like, is love passive or active?
Okay.
Like, do you believe it happens to you, or do you believe like you must actively pursue it?
So what
Or-
I was saying before, the reason why I brought that up is because growing up, I had a very open relationship with my mom. Like she literally, I think the first time I asked about like
What do
how
you mean
babies
by
are
open
made-
relationship with your mom?
I mean, like we talked
Were you,
about everything.
Were you playing around with other moms?
I had 6
you
moms.
seeing
growing up.
other
I couldn't
moms?
I couldn't commit to one mom. I
Yeah,
had
you're
about
a-
6 or 7.
You're a mommy playboy.
I had a open and clear line of communication with my mother. Yeah, like the first time I asked how babies were made, I was like 4 years old, and we were like on a drive somewhere. And
Wow,
she's like,
you asked that?
yeah.
That's a crazy question to ask, bro.
I feel like every kid asks. You know what I mean?
never asked that once.
How
Or at least I don't remember it.
the talk was literally my mom just telling
You
me.
got to talk?
Yeah.
I never got to talk. You know what my talk was?
Huh.
Porn.
Wow.
My
That's
talk,
wild.
like it went from like not knowing about sex to like porn. Rated porn. Like, fucking-
Yeah.
This
So
shit's rated porn. I'm sorry.
rated porn. I was It was just like a car ride, and I asked, and she was like, "Oh, okay." And then she just told
You
me
asked in a
everything.
car? Holy
Yeah, we were like on a
shit.
drive somewhere, and I asked her, and she was like, "Oh, okay," and it was no big deal. She
That's
just told
insane,
me,
dog.
you know, she just like dropped it on me, and I was like, "Oh, okay, thanks." You know, like my
Oh,
like, there was
okay,
no
thanks.
point. There was no
What
point
a
where my
white,
family like fed me some.
interaction.
There's no point where my family fed me some stork bullshit. Like from the moment I was curious enough to ask, like they told me. You know what I mean? Like
You know, I feel like vaguely I remember probably some stork bullshit that I
Yeah.
never like committed to memory. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? But
because you're like even as a kid, you're like, that's bullshit.
bullshit. I don't even see birds. Like,
Yeah. Birds
those storks don't
Storks
even
don't
fly.
come to Florida.
The white birds always like stand in the grass. They never
Yeah.
fly. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like you know the egrets and the those ones. You know what I'm saying?
But my point with all this was I think, once I was old enough to have like adult relationships, I like internalized that, and I felt like there was some kind of expectation for me to end up with a high body count, and also having a lot of friends. Sorry, having a lot of friends who are like women. I don't want this to come out the wrong way, but it is definitely, when a woman is looking for a sexual partner, it's easier for women than for men.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah.
Like I feel like it's not even like I hate to be like it's a given, but you know what I mean? I feel like
it's kind of just the nature
to
of
anyone
things.
with like a sound mind and maybe like they're at least at the baseline of attractiveness, you know what I mean? They're gonna pretty much agree with that.
Yeah.
You know? That it's easy for women to do that.
But almost all of my friends growing up and now, and I know you're kind of the same way, are mostly women. You're one of my few guy friends.
Right.
So like once, like when I was in like late high school, early college and all that stuff, I like all of my friends had a higher body count than me, and it made me feel kind of inferior. And I feel like I've kind of internalized that in a way I maybe shouldn't have.
Really?
I'm like, gotta get those numbers up, baby. Like
you've internalized?
Yeah.
Wow, really?
Yeah, pretty bad. I feel this is so bad. This is something that I should not think. I feel like my self-worth is tied to my body count. I feel like
No way.
Yeah, it's bad.
No, that's not
really
good.
bad.
Yeah, that is bad. I feel like my self-worth is tied to it, but not in a way that like when it goes higher it's better. Like to me, whenever it goes higher and like it's not the person that like I want to spend the rest of my life with, it's very much like, oh, like I've made a mistake. Like it feels very shameful. It feels like
So you feel like, I don't know, you add to your body count and you feel like a whore.
not like a whore, but it's just like, oh, well, like there's time wasted. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Like
it's like I gave this to somebody who I probably shouldn't have.
yeah, and it almost feels like disrespect to yourself. You know what I mean? Where it's like, oh, you should value your time more. You know what I mean?
I said it
And,
badly,
like,
but that was kind of what I meant.
yeah, it like yesterday. I hate to embark on a straight male story, but I had a sexual experience yesterday.
Okay.
And like I left the building feeling quite unfulfilled. Like I was like, oh,
Like it was empty.
not like empty, but just like, oh, we shouldn't do that anymore, because it's not, because it's like this is, especially because this is like not the first time I felt that way after doing it with that person, and like it just made me feel like, oh, maybe like I should just wait. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And I honestly, it's so funny that we're talking about this, because I was talking to my friend who's a virgin and is like 19, about to turn 19 in the next like coming few days. And she's like, dude, I hate being a virgin. Like it's so much pressure, or like there's so many things that I feel like there are so many things like weighing on her mind. You know what I mean? Like thinking about sex, or just like the societal pressures.
Mm-hmm.
But like I told her, like if we could switch positions, like me and you, like me having like double digit bodies and then you having zero, like I'd low key switch.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Even if it meant like I had no experience or anything like that, because to me right now, the search for someone who like can meaningfully interact with me and like have a conversation and like really take the time to like sit with me and like engage in my hobbies and like let me engage in their hobbies and get to know them, you know what I mean? I feel like that's so much more important to me, and having experience or not having experience sexually would matter like so much less, and it almost like put more on the pendulum for them to decide to want me, you know what I mean? So it's like once you give me the good grace of like wanting me, then it's like, holy shit, like that, it means that much more. You know?
Absolutely.
Yeah,
I it's the strangest thing is I always tell people this, like your body count doesn't matter whether it's high, low, or none. Like that doesn't define you as a person. I've said that to so many different people.
of course. Yeah,
But like I still struggle with that myself, you know.
Mm-hmm.
And I've been getting better. I've been getting better at it. Like I've recognized that that's not the right way to live, and I've recognized that like my body count getting higher doesn't make me feel better, doesn't make me happier, and
Mm-hmm.
I don't feel any more fulfilled than I did before. So I'm not like, I don't know, what I really want is just companionship, you know?
Yeah, for real. Like, I feel like maybe it's like a biological factor,
Yeah.
or
Humans need to be loved, you know?
not even that. We're at an like when I say a biological factor, I mean like the hormones and shit. Like,
Yes.
I do agree that humans need to be loved, but I think like at our age right now, the hormonal factor can like create such a like a muddling of like
Mm.
sexual desire versus like true companionship desire. And like for me, like in my mind, like companionship, union, and like being able to actually, I don't know, connect with someone, I feel like that's so meaningful.
Yeah, for
and
sure.
it's hard to find right
Especially
now.
now, yeah.
Yeah, and like a lot of people find surface level connection very sad, like enough.
Mhm.
And to me it's not enough.
Yeah,
It feels very like draining to have
Mhm.
repetitive surface level conversations like over and over again, you know?
I recently I used to say that I was afraid of commitment because I didn't. I was telling you about this when you were at my house.
Mm-hmm.
I realized like earlier this year. Do you mind if I don't know if you care if I repeat it for the pod,
Go ahead.
but earlier this year I realized that the reason why I suck in relationships and the reason why I have never wanted to be in a relationship since my last one ended is not because I'm afraid of commitment. I desperately want commitment. I am just non-monogamous. And I didn't realize that until I like met some people who were polyamorous, and I realized I've basically been in a polyamorous relationship just without the label, and it was good. It was really good. It was exactly what I wanted, but it just wasn't what the other person wanted. So
Yeah.
that was the person I was telling you about, the person we talked about today. Yeah, that was what happened with them.
Oh,
Yeah.
and that's what you viewed it as, like polyamorous, like they were helping
was-
you, and like
Yeah, we were together for a while, and it was basically a relationship without the label.
mhm.
And
I'm sure a lot of listeners can relate.
yeah, and I was pretty
It's a
much
popular
committed
theme
to
nowadays.
this girl, and like it was so good. I loved it so much. We did like everything together. We would not always be together, but like we would hang out with each other, and then like when we were going to leave, it'd be like, when are you free? I'm free in 2 days. Okay, I'll see you then. And we would like drink together, hang out, have sex whenever like the mood took us, and we would like just cuddle and watch
yes.
movies and stuff. We would like go out to dinner together. We would literally like go stargazing together, like all this stuff that like couples do. And
Mhm.
it was all of that. It was like everything that I wanted and everything that I needed, but I knew by the end of it that I couldn't be like tethered to this one person and nobody else, because every
Damn.
time I do that I feel restricted, and that was what she needed, and I didn't want to put her through that. So that ended. But it was good while it lasted, but that's the closest I've ever come to actually being in an open or polyamorous relationship. But
I feel like that's an interesting. I feel like the podcast would be interested to hear about that, because to me it's like a completely foreign perspective. You know what I mean?
polyamory?
Yeah, like I'm such a monogamist.
Yeah, I can briefly explain. So there's two different things that people get confused a lot. There is open relationships, which is where you are with one person, but it is non-monogamous, and you are able to like go have sex with other people. You can have other experiences. You can bring in like other people for like threesomes and stuff like that. That's not what I'm talking about. It's not about having casual sex with other people outside of that relationship. Polyamory is different because it not only encourages you to go have physical and like intimate relationships with other people, you are encouraged to have romantic relationships with other people, like fall in love with other people. And like that is something that I want, because I can't I don't know about you. I can't have like meaningless sex. It makes me feel it makes me feel used, like empty, and like I feel like every person that I'm intimate with. Maybe this is why my body kind of stayed so low. If I'm honest, I feel like I need to care about that person. I need to know that person cares about me. Because if I don't feel like safe and comfortable and like cared for, then I can't do it.
I feel like I've had a spectrum of sexual experiences,
Yeah.
and meaningless sex. Meaningless meaning like you don't like the person at all, or
I mean, like, I don't know, meaningless, like, not romantic. Meaningless, like you're having sex just because you're horny. Meaningless, like you're having sex just because you want to get it out of your system. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I definitely
Like sex you could throw away.
That definitely does not feel good to me at all either.
Yeah. Like I want the kind of sex where you cuddle afterwards. You know? Like that's what I want.
Yes, right. But like the kind where you want to cuddle
Yes.
afterwards, not where you're just cuddling afterwards.
Yes.
Right?
The kind where
Yeah.
you like
Where you actually want to.
yeah, the kind where you like really care about that person and you want to like
Like-
you want to spend time with that person.
But
You're
to
not
me,
just
it's like not even like I just want that. Like I just want a person like that, where it's like
yeah.
one person where I feel like I don't even want to just have sex with you.
Yeah.
Like I want to literally become you. Like
That's what I want too.
like I want our like atoms to like somehow submerge and like slip and slide in
Yes.
between each other, and then
Yes.
like we become some mixed matched more like
Yes.
you know what I mean? Like
I love being in a relationship or with a person where you like love that person so much that you like cannot describe it normally. It's like I want to be inside you. I want to eat you, you know? Like that shit.
like I love that shit where it's like you're fucking forehead to forehead, like your
Yeah.
noses are touching and it's like still not close enough.
It's like every part of your body is like wrapped around each other and you're like I need more, you know?
Literally.
Like, that's so good.
I love that shit. But also as a single person now who like just got out of a relationship like that, I hate that.
Yeah.
I hate thinking about it because
Yeah.
it I love talking about it, but I hate it at the same time because it like I don't know, it's this idea of like extrinsic happiness, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
That like something outside of like what you have right now, or not like what you have right now, but like something outside of yourself is going to bring you that happiness, you know what I
Yeah,
mean?
that's
Like
true.
at some point, not at some point, but like some people, and this sounds great, you know what I mean? Like hypothetically, it just like doesn't cross my mind as much. But like some people are just as happy with like a really, really epic like fall scented candle, you know what I mean? And a really, really epic like plush fucking
Yeah.
blanket and like an epic fucking like pillow that nobody else has, you know what I mean? And then
Yeah.
like an epic movie and like epic lighting and like epic fucking, you know, I feel like there's
Mhm.
tons of shit that you can do to do like internal happiness where
Intrinsic, yeah.
intrinsic happiness where you don't have to naturally not like it's not like it's bad to like think about this stuff, but I think I myself like place too much value in it sometimes,
Yeah.
and it's like, oh, like only if this, but like the
I
other
know.
part of me is like, what if only if like we could just like get like satisfied with
Mhm.
like the happiness that's available to us. You know what I
Yes.
mean? Like it's not like I have it like and I should be happy with it, but like life is abound, you know what I mean?
Mhm.
So like don't limit yourself with discomfort just because it's not like perfect, you know what
Yeah.
I'm saying?
I always try my best to be like happy when I'm
Yeah.
not like without another person. You know what I mean? Like find things that make me happy by myself, like music and beautiful views, the fucking stars, the moon, like going places, doing things, having new
You try
experiences,
to?
watching movies, writing poetry, making music, like all this different stuff. I do. It is fulfilling and it does make me happy, but there is always going to be that like I hope I get away from this at some point, but like there's always that like itch in the back of my brain of like, yeah, but this would be better with a person, you know what I mean?
I do know what you mean. But do you know what I was saying to you earlier? I use this metaphor to describe um like showcasing your true self or your true identity or your personality. It's like trying to like give someone water out of the ocean, but all you have is your hands.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So like the moment you can cup it out of the ocean, it like falls out of the edges of your hands and like it seeps through the cracks of your fingers. You know what I mean? So like the moment you're grasping it, it's also slipping away from you, and like that's what I feel like can happen whenever you're feeling that way. You know what I mean? Like to me, whenever I'm feeling like true intrinsic happiness, like when I went to Virginia and like was just chilling in the mountains by myself, like
Oh yeah, mountains will fucking do it.
I feel like there were it was like I was so enveloped in the ocean of myself
Yeah.
that like
That's a
it was
beautiful way
like
to say
instead of fucking grasping for like cups of me, it was like
it. You were swimming.
I was swimming and like my hands were like cutting through air of like everybody else. You know what I mean? And it's
Yeah.
like, oh, I have this like small glimpse of like, oh, I want someone here. But then it's like I like cut my hand way back into the ocean of me.
Oh,
You know what I
yeah.
mean? And then it's like I love it again. Like I love I love like being able to fucking nap
Yeah.
under the breeze of the mountain and like the like warmth of the sun. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
no one else would want to fucking sleep on like this like lookout over the mountain. You know what I mean? Because
I
it's like
had-
all concrete and it's like
Yeah.
I don't know. You know what I mean?
I had this I had a similar experience. I went out with my sister and my mom when we were in New Hampshire, and we just went out to get ice cream or whatever. And we were like, well, we got some extra time during the day. Why don't we find something to do? And I like looked on my phone and I was like, oh, there's this trail here. Why don't we walk that? And we walked it, and it started getting really steep. And we walked for like an hour and a half, and we were like, well, I mean, we're this far, we might as well keep going. And we didn't even realize, we thought it was just a trail, but it kept getting steeper and steeper and going further and further up. And we were like, Jesus Christ, what's going on right now? And then we reach the top,
Mm-hmm.
and we realized that it was like one of the tallest mountains in the entire county.
That's
And
crazy.
we climbed it by accident. And we were standing there, and there was this like window of trees, and we were looking out through it, and it was just me, my sister, and my mom, and we could literally see for miles, like mountain ranges that went so far out in the distance that they turned blue with the horizon. We could see the town we were just in, and the next town over, and the next town after that. It was just rolling pastures and fields and mountains and forests as far as the eye could see. And it's exactly what you were talking about.
Yeah, it's just
of like every idea that I would want to be with someone else in that moment completely disappears, and I am content with myself to live in this moment.
And that's what makes me like it makes me feel like I hate to say like isolation is the answer, you know what I mean? But like the cabin in the woods, like the fucking
Yeah.
the idea of not having any more outside input on what you actually want,
Yeah, you're telling
and
me
then
about
it's
that.
like literally what you want is coming out of your own brain. You know what I mean? There's nobody's like influencing you, whether it's like a comment or a or a reaction to what you said. Because in my like I don't know if I've told the podcast about this, but in my personal life, whenever people comment on what I do or react in a certain way or like do like small things that like I notice in my own world, like it really fucks with me far down the line, farther than like anyone would hope or like realize or expect. You know what I mean? Because I'm such a overthinker. I don't know if it's like the anxiety or whatever, it's the way my brain is wired, but like if you've said something like 3 years ago and like it really fucked with me, I'll probably remember that shit. You know what I
Yeah.
mean?
I know what you
And
mean.
it's like I feel like that's why now in such a crucial time in my life where I have to motivate myself to like be like working and doing like fucking school and
Mhm.
fucking YouTube and like hopefully like making like merch or clothing or whatever, and then hopefully like engaging in stand up again, and then hopefully
good.
like doing other things as well, like maybe like creating more music stuff too. It all takes, I don't know, it all takes like a strong will to like want to do those things, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I feel like whenever other people come in, like my friend that I hung out with recently who likes hanging out with me, you know what I mean, and likes the idea of supporting me, but like doesn't necessarily follow through on those things. She was just kind of being like, man, you do like a lot of things, like I thought you were just like fucking not even like working, just like wasting your time out here. Not like, she didn't say wasting your time, but just like fucking doing like, you know, whatever shit, you know, you were doing. But to me, it's, in like, among other things she said, it was just like, I felt like maybe a month or two ago, whenever I wasn't consciously working on like keeping outside influences from fucking with me,
Yeah.
like that shit would have hurt me hard. Like some of the things that like are really important to me were like laughed at, or like the way
Yeah,
that
you were
I
telling me that earlier.
yeah, or like the way that I was like spending my time was like considered a waste, or maybe just like overindulgent, you know what I mean? So like, even though like and I'm not talking about like smoking weed, I'm talking about like the time I spend like training, or the time that I spend like just like honing my skills, whether it's at editing or like fucking like speaking to people, you know what I mean, or just like being funny. I feel like before I wasn't, maybe I like wasn't as sure of myself, or like I wasn't as sure as what I was doing, but now I'm like steeled in that. And I guess I hope other people are like going along that journey too.
I'm sorry I called your pants mom jeans.
I'm dead. You did call my pants mom jeans. Dude.
I'm sorry that's going to stick with you in 6 years.
No, honestly, like, if I had to, what's one?
Have I ever said anything to you that was like mean and that was going to like stick with you?
I think the one tussle between us that will like probably stick with me for a while is that one time we like got tense, like the first time, I don't know if it was the first time you came over here or something, but like we were driving back to my house.
Oh,
and you're like,
shit, I do remember that.
And you're like, man, fuck the weed. And I was like, oh, dude, it wasn't like that. You know what I mean?
What was that even about?
I think I was just pushing the topic too hard, like I do. You know what I mean? Like,
oh no, it was about why I don't smoke.
Right.
And I kind of felt like you were trying to push me to smoke. You weren't.
I definitely.
But I kind of interpret it that way.
Mm-hmm. No, it was funny because it was like it was just the first time it's been like awkwardly tense between me and you, because we're like relatively new friends. You know what I mean?
Like the thing is, like 2 minutes after that conversation, I was like, I'm not, like I didn't, we're good, right? Like afterwards, it was like,
funny because like at that time in my life, like I was having a lot of those moments, like
shit.
Like not just with you, but with Christian and like with Faith and just like with everybody. It was just a time where I was working on my own shit, whether it was like my ego or my personality or whatever, where I had to learn to be like a little less overbearing. You know what I mean?
No, you're good.
No, yeah. I think I've toned it back, not like to the point where I'm diminishing my personality or watering myself down, but
I never like saw you as overbearing. I mean, maybe that's just because I didn't like see that part of it, but like I never experienced that.
Oh yeah. I feel like nobody tells me I'm overbearing. I feel like it's just my own perception of like what could have caused the problem. Because like the farthest people will go whenever, like in regards to saying something like that, that I've heard before, is someone's like, people have been like, yeah, you're like pretty dominant in the conversation. And like,
it doesn't seem that way to me.
Really?
Yeah, when like, at least when we're like having a conversation, I kind of feel like a dick because you'll say something and then I'll be like, oh shit, that reminds me of something, and I will kind of cut you off, and I feel like shit for that sometimes.
No, dude. You know what's so funny? It's because so you claim your ADHD pretty hard. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You're like, yeah, I have ADHD or ADD or whatever, and like I'm gonna fucking do whatever. But to me, like in the beginning of my life, I was like a focused guy. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I don't know if it was like the long history of smoking or like whatever, but now I have a lot of like ADD, ADHD tendencies. So like people will complain about like me cutting people off.
Yeah.
But then whenever I hang out with other people with ADHD, it's like we're just like normal. You know what I mean? Like we'll cut each other off, but then we'll like remember but then we'll know like when to not cut someone off. You know what I mean? Because you just got to let that person fly on the topic, or else it's never gonna come back.
Yeah.
And like,
I appreciate that, because I do be going off on tangents. I'm curious, what do you mean by I claim my ADHD?
like the way I claim my depression. Like I'm a depressed person. You're like, yeah, I have ADHD.
And I feel so bad about it. You know, like I have ADHD, and sometimes I will literally like someone will be in the middle of a sentence, and I will say something, and then after I've already started saying something, I'll be like, I'm so fucking sorry. You were in the middle of saying something. Continue.
Right. Like you have like the tendencies and you claim the diagnosis. So it's like, okay,
I was
like,
diagnosed.
well, yeah, I mean, by claim, I feel like you mean, I feel like I'm coming off like, oh, you're claiming this, but no, like, I mean, like,
No,
this is
like,
mine.
I'm accepting it. I
Yeah,
know
like-
what you mean. I just want to make sure that it's clear. I was diagnosed with ADHD.
Right.
do
I was
have it.
diagnosed with depression.
Yeah.
We are mentally ill.
I was diagnosed with anxiety. I don't really claim it. You know what I mean? I feel like I seem pretty chill. You know what I mean?
Nah, I think we both have anxiety, just like different
Yeah.
stages and
I
levels
don't-
and
I don't-
ways.
I'm not saying I reject it. I'm sure I do have it. It's just it doesn't feel like a part of my personality that's super expressed.
Yeah, to me, I feel like my anxiety manifests in ways that like people wouldn't think are anxiety. They just think I have issues. They just think
Yeah.
like they're just like, oh, he just doesn't go outside because he hates the world. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
no, actually, just like every impending thought of things going wrong makes me not
Yeah.
want to go outside. Like,
I think the biggest way my anxiety is expressed is kind of socially, because I worry a lot about what other people think of me, and that's kind of a new thing. You know what I mean? Like,
Really?
not super new. Like last couple of years, I mean.
I feel like that's been a thing for me ever since I was a child.
Really?
Yeah, like thinking about what you think about me, because not like you, Liam,
Okay.
but like a person, like whoever I'm talking to, trying to befriend, like however you view me has been like probably ever since like the 3rd or 4th grade. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah, I gotcha.
but I remember vividly there was probably this time that I did not have a concept of how other people viewed me. This girl, like in grade school, she told me she had a crush on me. And like I was too young at the time, so I was like, fuck girls, I hate girls. Like, you know what I mean? So like, all right, chill out.
I'm just a nicotine addict.
But no, so she was like, oh, you're so cute, like I like you. And we're like 7, right? So of course, like I was showing you how extreme I am now, right?
Yeah.
So like back then I was like, what if I like killed you? Like, would you like me then? You know what I mean?
Like as a 7-year-old?
Yeah, like I was saying like morbid ass shit, and then she was like, I love you. And then
I remember I had like a similar situation, like around that same age. We were like in like kindergarten. There
right.
was this girl who was obsessed with me, and like every minute of every day, I was like, "No, fucking no, leave me alone." Like
Basically like that, right?
I want
And-
nothing to do with women.
And it was just like, yeah, the things I said basically just like in my memory show me that I probably wasn't thinking about what she was thinking of me. I was just like, please get the fuck away. I don't understand women.
Yeah.
You make me uncomfortable.
When
you know
was
what I mean?
Did you ever have a fake girlfriend when you're not like a fake? I mean like a very young girlfriend. You know what I mean? Like when you're younger.
No, I think women always scared me. I think,
Yeah?
yeah.
My first girlfriend I think was I was in 3rd grade.
You know what my fake
had
girlfriend
two at
was? Like my mom's friends.
Did I tell you that?
No.
I had 2 girlfriends at once when I was in 3rd grade. And they
Damn,
knew
you're a
about each other
player,
and they were
bro.
chill.
Damn. So you've been polyamorous.
My first relationship ever was polyamorous. Yeah. Holy shit. That's foreshadowing. That's fully foreshadowing. That's some deep Liam lore.
Would you say? So have you ever? Do you like? Are you? Would you say you're a TikTok enthusiast?
Enthusiast is a strong word. I'm a TikTok addict.
Addict? Okay. So have you ever seen that sound where it's like Zendaya from Euphoria and she's like, Jules was my first love. Like, I love to think
Yes.
of her that way. How do you think? Do you have like a first love or like
yeah.
a relationship where you're like that, where it's like fuck, like
Remember that girl I told you would like text me or call me whenever I felt like bad?
oh, the connection one, yes.
The connection one. Yeah, her. She was the
Her,
first
huh?
person who I ever like fully really loved.
What age did you get with her?
I was
or like
I was 15 and she was 14.
that's problem. That's the age for when like shit like that happens.
Yeah, that's the
I
age
feel
for
like.
when your relationships start to become a little bit more adult. And like even now, like looking back on it, it was love. You know what I mean? Like I've felt love multiple times since then. I was in love with that girl. But like there were other times before then that I had told people that I loved them, but I didn't really know what love was, you know? Like
Oh, so what do you think love is?
what
Do you
I
think
love
it's?
is?
Yeah, I was trying to answer that question at work
I
myself.
mean, what's the fucking meaning of life, man? It's a big question. What do I think love is?
But like, yeah, let's answer that. Cause like, if we just try to narrow it down, right? Like I was asking you earlier, like, if love is an event, like, do you think it's like, love is an event, something that's like taking
Love is a
place
pull.
between like two people?
I think that love is a pull. I think when two people have a strong enough connection, the connection is not the love. The love is the pull. It's the thing that, like, no matter how far apart you are, no matter what you're doing, no matter who you are, that pull is love. Like, even, and I'm not even just talking about romantic love. Like, if you have a dad who's generally a piece of shit and you're still drawn to him because you care about him and you want the best for him, and even if he's shitty at showing it, you know he loves you back, that's love. Like, the pull between two people, that is how I define love. Like, being drawn to someone. When it's that strong. It has to be a very strong draw.
Do you think then like attraction can be just love too?
No, attraction is too weak. Love is strong. It's
So do you think? Because I feel like when you say it's like a pull, like another word for a pull is attraction.
yeah. I was actually just thinking about that. I think
Because I feel like
attraction-
whenever you speak in these like, I don't want to be like platitudes, but it feels like you're like adding the grandee. Like, you know how when we were watching that guy earlier and it was like
he's,
the way you're saying it is
Yeah.
more important than what you're saying. I feel like that's what's taking place right now, but not necessarily like you're being like, oh, love, love, love. It just feels like
I'm just trying to find the best way to describe what's in my head, I guess.
right. And I feel like
And there is a
this
simpler
isn't
way
like
to
a
boil it
call
down,
out.
Yeah.
This isn't like a call out to you, I guess, but I feel like maybe a call out to like society. And like myself too.
Mhm.
I feel like whatever a lot of people say is like a confounding inspiration from like
Yeah.
movies and like past experiences and shit like that, and like clips of videos you've seen and music that you've like
Yeah.
things that you've read too. So like sometimes like we can like mimic that feeling, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
Or like
for
try to
sure.
mimic that feeling where it's like
Try to make it more
skirt.
grandiose than it is, yeah.
Yeah, so I'm just trying to like
I guess the reason why I'm saying it like that is just because attraction feels wrong. I feel like attraction and love are two separate things. Like, you can have both,
right.
but
Like
love
if I
is-
were to describe love, I think I'd describe it at a younger age, like here, like let's describe it like this. Like for me, I'm going to take it like describing at a young age and then like what I would describe it as now.
yeah.
Because like whatever, I've given answers for what I think love is before, you know what I mean? And I was pretty
Yeah.
concrete on what I thought it was. what I thought it was like at a young age, like when people would ask me, or when my old girlfriends would ask me, it'd be like the choice to choose someone like over and over again. You know
That's
what I
a
mean?
good answer.
Um, and it's like, I guess,
But you've changed your view on that now?
yeah, because love can also be like not choosing someone, because I think, have you ever been in a relationship that ends because they can't give you what you want?
Yeah.
I feel like before,
The girl I was talking about before.
right. I feel like, so you have firsthand experience. I feel like whenever relationships like that happen, when I was younger, I'd be like, of course you don't love me. You know what I mean? You're choosing something else. Like anybody
Yeah.
else, that's what you're choosing. Like, if anything, you're doing the opposite of loving me. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, you like the idea of loving me. And I guess, like, if I were to hold on to my selfish values and, like, not let go, that would be, like, not loving them. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because I'm not giving them the space to be themselves and do what they want and
Yeah.
be, like, an independent agent. Because, like, one thing that I've heard someone describe love as is like, you want them to be independent but still like choosing you know what I mean? So like,
Yeah.
in a way, or at least that's how a lot of people want their relationships. It's like a weird it's a weird take on like restricted freedom. Like, you want someone who's free to choose anybody but like doesn't,
Yeah.
because they make you feel special, I guess. You know what I mean? But
I think the harder version of what you were saying of like not choosing someone because they can't give you what you need. I
yeah.
think even harder than that is letting someone go because you can't give them what they need. Do you know what I mean?
Damn,
Have you
I
ever been in
don't.
that situation?
I've never been in that situation. I've always been the person who like the person's telling me like, I'm sorry, I suck, and I'm like, yeah, you do suck, bitch. Like, how about you die about that? How about you, if you feel so bad, how about you crumple up your heart and throw it out of your chest?
If
Like,
you
right
feel
now,
so bad, why don't you just fucking fall over
right
here?
now, right now. Like, let's both crash this car right
Yeah,
now. Let's
I want to
like,
watch you cry about it.
why don't we go on I-95 and swerve? Like,
Yeah, I've been in
Fuck
that
you.
situation where it's like one time a relationship ended for me and I burned everything they ever fucking gave me and then sent them a picture.
Damn.
That was some petty shit right there.
There was the relationship that you were present for that I went through a crazy breakup for. I probably journaled like 20 pages of just like rage, of like questions that will never be answered.
You ever have a page that's just like fuck you, fuck you, fuck you, fuck you, fuck you, fuck you?
It like, it wasn't even that simple. It was just like, what am I? What was that? What do you mean to me? What do I mean to you? Like, what? It was shit like what the fuck? It was just like all the questions I had in my head of like imagining, like, it was like a movie. Like, imagine if someone like deja vu'd your girlfriend and was like, actually they're hanging out with me now. You know what I mean?
What?
Like, you know what I mean? That's what it felt like happened, because yeah, to give you a synopsis, that's basically what happened. Like, my old girlfriend started hanging out with her new friend, and like, it took one time, and then she was like, yeah, I'm not into you anymore,
That's wild.
because I saw a girl on the internet say that this was true, and it kind of broke my heart, because like, I hope I never have to go through this again. But she was like, yeah, I got drunk and like, I did not have the urge to want to call you. So that's when I knew I was no longer in love with you. And I was like, holy fuck.
That's insane.
That's why.
Yeah, but I don't feel like that's true.
I feel like that's the reason why I ask. Not why I ask, but like one of the reasons why whenever people say like love is like a feeling, or love is like something close to a feeling, like
I still feel like it's a choice.
that's why I feel like, Yeah, a choice. Like it's not a feeling. It can be based on a feeling.
Yeah,
But like
you can
to
choose because
me,
of a feeling.
love is not like a feeling that you feel, because that's just like that's infatuation. That's like affection.
That's
You know what I
exactly what I
mean?
was gonna say. Because when she said she didn't want to call you when she was drunk, that doesn't mean she's no longer in love with you. It means your love is no longer impulsive. You know what I mean?
Right, right.
And that's not a bad thing.
And to me, like people mistake that. Um,
Yeah.
a lot of people mistake that, where it's like, oh, I don't feel anything in this moment, so I'm not gonna, choose to like show affection for this person anymore and show love
Yeah.
for this person. And I think that's like a little triggering for me now.
Yeah.
Just like as someone who's fucking gone through that.
Yeah. That there is a big distinction between a crush and love, like infatuation and actual like dedication.
I think that's something I confess to a lot of people now too, that like I think people confess the other way around. They're like, I'm in love with you, or like they're like, oh fuck, I like you, or I love you so much, you know what I mean? But then like I see this fucking trend on TikTok where it's like, I hate to keep bringing up
No,
fucking
you're
TikTok.
good. It's the era we live in.
It is the era we live in, but I keep seeing this trend on social media where it's like, yeah, you love me, or like you're so cool, or I want to be like you, or something like this. But then it's like this person feels so unseen and like unknown, because there's so many like things that are personal about them that nobody has taken the time to know.
Mhm.
And I relate to that like
Yeah.
wholeheartedly.
Yeah, it's
And I feel like it stings whenever people are confusing like love with crushes and affection.
once that like infatuation, like the puppy love at the beginning of a relationship, once that fades, if you really do love that person, even without that like electric chemical desire to go after that person, there should still be the like, man, I really want to see them, you know? Like I really enjoy spending time with them. The same way that like you would enjoy spending time with a friend you care about. You know what I mean? Like,
Right.
you should still be drawn to that person in the way that like you want to spend time with them, even if you're no longer in that like sugary honeymoon phase anymore. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and that's how it should be, man. But I feel like a lot of people, once they get out of that, they don't,
And in that situation, it's not love. You know what I mean?
I mean, yeah. I feel like that's definitely not what love is, for sure.
Yeah, that's just infatuation, I feel.
So it's not, yeah. Period. Like, moral of that thought is, like, love is not a feeling. At least for me, it's not,
Yeah, love's not a
because
feeling.
feelings are, like, temporary as fuck.
Yeah.
And
Feeling is,
I don't want anything like that.
love is a choice, love is a commitment, love is a dedication, but it shouldn't.
Love is a commitment. Yeah, I was about to be like, is love a commitment? But yeah,
Love is a commitment. It's something that you decide.
I don't think there's any situation where like you're showing love to someone and it's
Yeah.
not like a commitment.
And there are, I don't know, a lot of the time I hear like love is not a choice, and I can agree with that to an extent, but
What do you mean like love is like whenever people love someone that they can't let go of?
I'm not saying that like you look at someone and you're like, I'm gonna love that person. Like you don't fall in love by choice, but once you are in love with somebody, it becomes a choice to continue
I feel
doing
like
it. Do you know what I mean?
I feel like it's not 100% like that, but it can be close to that, where it's like you're not necessarily like, oh my god, I'm overcome with love for this person
Yeah.
who's come into my life for the first time ever, and like this is my first time knowing them, or like I get to know this thing about them and this is how I feel.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like there are relationships that I've had where it's like we get to know each other, and it's like it's through like the nudging of like
Oh yeah.
of
You-
like
you grow
giving
to
each
love
other
a person.
chances and
Yeah.
like stuff like that like you grow to love someone, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's not like, oh no, we weren't gonna be like this off the bat, you know what I mean? Like maybe like
Yeah.
they thought differently
Love at
of
first-
me because of like how I act or whatever.
Do you believe in love at first sight?
No, I
don't
think that's
think so.
infatuation as fuck. I
Yeah,
think
that's definitely
I
infatuation.
think there's definitely like times when infatuation can be successful and like lead to
Mhm.
love.
Yeah,
and like,
infatuation can transition into love. Yeah.
but I do not believe that like love at first sight's a thing because
You don't even
actually
know
like
them.
actually there's like a 1 in a million billion chance because like if you fucking in this 1 in a million billion chance that I'm thinking of, it's like the guy somehow just like sees the perfect showcase of this person's personality, which is like literally impossible to think of.
I know what you
I
mean. Like a combination of the things that they wear, the location that they currently are, the conversation that they're currently in, like all these different things are like the perfect melting pot for this person to see who this person is. But that is, you're right. That's
And
almost
it's-
impossible.
And even then, it's like not necessarily for me. It wouldn't be first love at first sight. It'd be like, oh, I definitely cannot let this opportunity pass
yeah,
by me.
it's like
you know what I mean?
the seed of love. You know,
Yeah,
like
it'd be
getting
like-
planted.
yeah,
the
I'd-
beginning of it.
Definitely, and it
It
feel
wouldn't even
like
be fully love then. Yeah.
I feel like when you can feel those around you, it like you can feel it nipping at you. Like you should probably go like check that out. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? Like
you feel a burning sensation.
you're gonna regret this like in 10 minutes. The
Yeah.
moment they leave, you will regret this in
Have
10
you-
minutes.
Have you ever had this moment where you look at someone and you're like, fuck, this is gonna hurt. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah, like probably
Like, that's like the opposite of love at first sight. You know
probably
what I mean?
literally since like April, I've had nonstop moments like that with girls that like I'm like, oh yes, like we mutually find each other attractive, and then I go up and I'm like, I'm respectful. I like ask if
Yeah.
they have a boyfriend, and they're like yes, or I ask if I can have their number, and they're like yes, and then they have a boyfriend.
Or they're like, yes, and then they are only into girls.
Yeah.
That's a you problem, man.
and like I feel like
You don't have gaydar.
but you know what it is? I feel like women not women, I hate to refer to them as the other again. You see what I'm saying? Like
Yeah.
other people, but like I feel like a lot of females or fuck
Females is worse.
a lot of people of the other gender in our
You can say women.
a lot of people with coochies in our generation have
You keep getting worse and worse every fucking thing you say.
they're like
What
and this
worse
isn't-
thing can I say about women?
a lot of bit
Matthew, I'm from the
But-
HR department. You're going
You
to
need-
lose your job.
you need to be quiet right
You
now.
need to shut the fuck up.
But no, my aunt, this is coming from my aunt. She's like, dude, a lot of girls your age are going to be like experimenting. You know what I mean? So like, yeah, you're
They're-
going to get turned down with the like, I'm gay right now.
If they're just experimenting, most of the time they're going to be bisexual. I don't think you're finding people who are
Right.
experimenting.
But let
I think
me
it's-
let me activate my trap card, Yu-Gi-Oh. Okay, you know what I'm saying?
Don't I activate your trap card?
You
Isn't it
activated my
me who
trap
activates
card.
your trap card?
Paching!
I'm fucking dead. Oh my god, trap card, clock.
Bitches hate women. Like, I mean, bitches hate men. Like, women
Bitches
hate,
hate-
like, dude, fucking. I feel like I posted on TikTok about this, and like, I got like a
About
pretty
hating women.
about women hating men. About
Oh.
like fucking how you really can't even be like part of the friends to lovers thing right now with someone who's like a new friend at least, because there's gonna be so many like guarded preconceptions where it's like, oh no, he's just trying to fuck, or like
I
shit
think
like
it's
that.
just because you give off a vibe.
What the fuck?
I'm gonna be so
Alright,
honest with
Liam.
you right now, man. You give off a vibe.
All right, Liam. What am I gonna fuck you? Like,
No, you give off a vibe. That
Honestly,
is
I wonder what the vibe
aggressively
is.
heterosexual.
damn. What?
You know what I mean?
I hope. I mean, like,
I feel like you have a lot of toxic masculinity in you.
shit. Really?
Yeah,
Damn.
it's less than most guys, but it's more than me.
What are okay? Let's go through some toxic masculine things.
You call women bitches.
All right, but like some
You call
of them are
females.
bitches. Call bitches bitches.
You talk about sex more than any other person I've ever met in my life.
All right, let me talk to any real women out there, then they'll agree with this. Like,
I'm not trying.
bitches call bitches bitches.
That's
Like,
true,
Let
but
me
they
let
are
me be
women.
real. Bitches call bitches bitches.
You are a man.
Women call women women. Females
You are a
call
man.
females females.
Man.
And you know what? I believe Like, you know how you're like, you're written by a man, you're written by a woman. I feel like if I were to give you my like my internal identity, you know what I mean? Like, I don't identify as a woman, you know what I mean? But like, if I had to give you my basis, I'm
You identify with women.
like most of my views are like women like,
They're very
but
feminine.
there's like a man inside me.
Yeah,
You know what I
at,
mean?
at
Like,
your core, you are a man, but your,
Like,
your
I love-
outlook is very influenced by how many women you are around, you know? And I know that most
it's
of what
not
you say is a
influenced by
bit.
like how many women are around, but like, what's it called?
You have a very feminine view, but you have a very masculine gaze.
That was such a great way to put it.
Yeah, you know what I mean? Like, does
I
that
do
make
know
sense
what you
to you?
mean. Yeah, I do know what you mean. Cause like on issues, I have a feminine
Yeah.
view. You know what I mean? Like, I absolutely agree with every feminine view, other than like, I saw that like feminists support the prison system.
Yeah, we don't support the prison
I don't
system.
know about that
We
one.
don't support the prison system.
But anyways, I like a lot of the feminist views and shit. But like the way, you know how I just said and shit. I
Yeah.
feel like that's like the masculine part where it's like, okay, like I'm definitely still a guy.
The thing is, I hear you talk, and I hear like your deeper thoughts, and I know that like you're chill. You know what I mean? Like
I
as
know
a
that
person
you're
who knows
chill.
you, I know that when you say problematic shit, you don't mean it. And like anytime that I'm like, hey, that's a little, maybe you shouldn't say that, you're like, oh fuck, man, I'm sorry. Like you're genuinely like you're good. You know what I mean? Like you're a very chill person. You're very considerate. You're very thoughtful. And anything offensive you say is purely shock value humor.
Yeah, I feel like
But like at your
For
core,
sure.
you're a good guy. You know what I mean? You don't
I
mean any
appreciate
of the
that.
shit that you say, and the views that you have are generally very like kind. You know what I mean?
thank
And
you.
very,
I
like,
appreciate that.
open-minded. First impression does not give that off, though. You know what I
Really?
mean? Yeah, first impression.
What was
I'm like,
what was your first impression of me? I feel
my
like I've
first
never
impression
asked
of
you this.
Well, my first impression of you was, wow, this guy listens to Arctic Monkeys. What a cool dude.
Dude, my first impression of you was like, damn,
I thought
this guy listens to the basic Arctic Monkeys. He's not like a true
basic.
like the true. He's not like a true real fan. He doesn't listen to the shitty album that just came out.
My favorite fucking.
Because like at the time I was like, you know how
shitty album
like
that
you know when
just came
people
out.
start listening to music by albums, like,
Yeah.
and they just get a little pretentious about it.
Yeah.
I'd started doing that at the time.
I understand that like my taste in Arctic Monkeys is basic. My favorite album is AM.
I'm dead.
That's my favorite album. But like it's a no skip. You know what I mean? AM
That's
is a good
true.
album. You
But
can't
you
even say
know,
it's
like
a bad album.
the album that you don't listen to, the most recent one,
The
like
Car?
the car. I remember listening to it and being like, "Oh, dude, this is not." It was specifically in my music creation era, because I was specifically trying to listen. I saw this thing and it was like, "Dude, listen to music you don't necessarily like."
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, listen to new stuff.
I
And that was
listened
like the
to-
first thing that I listened to that
Yeah.
was new, and it was just like,
Well, it's a good thing. you
wow,
listened to
this
that
is
before.
like not this is like new for you and me, you know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like, this is weird.
The thing is, I don't just listen to their basic stuff. I like Tranquility Base Hotel and Casino. You know, like that's one of my favorite albums by them. They're really good, and I love the entire vibe of it. It's difficult to like describe what the vibe of that album is, but it's all good. I love that fucking album. But like second or third favorite album is Whatever People Say I Am, That's What I'm Not. You know what I mean?
Really?
Yeah, that's like probably my second favorite, because I love AM. Like that's like the one that got me into Arctic Monkeys, because you know it's their most popular one of all time. But like right below that is Whatever People Say I Am, That's What I'm Not, because like fucking Marty Bum from The Ritz to the Rubble. I bet you look good on the dance floor. What's the fucking When the Sun Goes Down? Like all those songs are fantastic, and it's just I like grunge. I like grungy shit, and it sounds so punk. You know what I mean?
I feel like a lot of their songs sometimes sound like, I like American grunge.
Yeah.
Like sometimes their songs sound so like, did you ever watch Teen Titans?
A long time ago, and I didn't watch it very closely.
Damn. So there was this like there was this scene where like fucking they animated like the British version of the Teen Titans. You know what I mean? And it's just like fucking.
It's just gorillas. Gorillas
Basically,
are the
like
British Teen Titans.
basically like Gorilla's art style like shit, and it's like but like lamer. You know what I mean? And
Yeah.
like bigger buck teeth and like fucking
That's fucked up.
shit like that. But
That feels a little like.
and like a hairy upper lip and like
That's what's the word?
not racist.
It's not racist. What's the word for like discriminating against a culture?
Racist.
It's racist.
Just
Whatever.
Like, just
It
so-
just feels
just
like-
along those lines.
Like it's a stereotype, you know what I mean? And,
Yeah,
like,
that is
it's okay, 'cause
stereotyping.
They're still white Anglo-Saxons, but like it is a stereotype. that
But no,
feels-
that's what I feel like they're like. I feel like that's what their music feels like to me
Yeah.
sometimes. Like I imagine like American grunge. Like to me, American grunge is like Pierce the Veil and
Yeah.
honestly, like I don't know if you listen to Willow Smith at all, like her new songs, but she's like, to me, she's like the queen of grunge now. She's like the black queen of grunge because she like,
Does she go by Willow?
yeah, Willow.
Yeah, I do know Willow. Yeah.
Yeah, Willow's really good, and
She is really good, and I like a lot of her songs.
yeah, I just feel like whenever I listen to their specifically for Fluorescent Adolescent, that song makes me be like, oh, they're fucking like putting that
Yeah.
twang on here,
Yeah.
that British twang.
That British twang. Yeah. Fluorescent Adolescent. Oh god. Fluorescent Adolescent and 505 are both from the same album, but I don't remember what the fuck it's called.
Do you have any memories
Yes, I do.
associated with Arctic Monkeys? Let's hear it.
Ooh, yeah, I do. When I first ever heard Arctic Monkeys, this is gonna be so fucking strange. I got with free for Xbox Gold. I got The Crew 2,
The
which
Crew.
is like a driving game,
I'm
and I
dead.
wasn't like,
You play the games that I'd never get a chance.
yeah,
like
I
give a
shouldn't
chance.
have. It wasn't good.
Like the Crew 2 looks
The
like
Crew
such
2
a shit
It
game.
was shit, but I got it for free, and I was like, I'll give it a shot. And I like loaded it up because I was like, maybe I'll try a driving game. I don't play driving games. I'll give it a shot. I don't like driving games.
Yeah.
I found that out from playing The Crew 2.
I'm dead.
But the thing that's cool about The Crew 2 is the map in The Crew is America. Like it's
Oh,
the
that's cool.
entire continental United States. It's obviously like way compressed down.
Damn,
'cause you
that's
can drive
lame.
across it in like 30 minutes, you know?
That's lame.
But it is like the whole thing's there. And they have like this little like in game, you have like a little iPod you can pick music on. And I didn't know any of the songs, but I was like, Arctic Monkeys, that sounds interesting.
Oh,
And it was
shit.
Do I Want to Know? And that
Yo,
when I
that would be
listened to
like
it,
an ethereal experience.
Driving across America
Do I
listening to I Wanna
Wanna Know?
in a really fast car. Yeah, it
No,
was
even just like listening to it for the first time, just like, why is this a video game song? You know what
right.
I mean?
Like, why is this in this fucking?
that
game? It was
song's
really
pretty
good.
fucking epic. Even if it just like came on
It's definitely one of the
randomly,
songs of all time.
came on like randomly, like as I was playing the game, and be like, let me
Yeah.
Shazam this right now. This is
No,
kind of
literally,
epic.
because like the name was right there, and I listened to it, and I was like, "Fuck, okay." And it was like the only one I'd listened to that I like enjoyed, so I
Mhm.
just played that on loop the entire time that I was like driving, and then I didn't listen to it again until like 2 years later. And
Dude,
I
I have a
heard-
similar experience.
I heard Fluorescent Adolescent on my friend's playlist, and I was like, Arctic Monkeys, I recognize that name. What's that one song? And he was like, Do I Want to Know? And I was like, How the fuck did you know that? And he was like, That's the most popular song. And I was like, Yeah, that's it. So then he played it, and I was like, It unlocked so many memories for me. So that was the first Arctic Monkey song that I ever heard. Just like everyone else. That was
Mhm.
everyone else's first Arctic Monkey song. And from that point, it was just me branching out and listening
That
to
was
the
your
rest of the music.
first. I think my first was 505 from
Really?
TikTok.
Oh,
yeah.
that is a good first one.
That was like a TikTok fucking song, like back in whenever the quarantine first started.
Yeah. Well, Do I Want to Know became popular around the same time because of that, like, have you ever dated a twin, you got confused and fucked your dad?
What the fuck?
That's how it feels to drive a Ford F-150. like,
Holy
Do I Want to Know is playing in the background?
Yeah,
like that
I
shit?
remember that. Yeah.
Yeah. You ever been spanked with a wet spaghetti noodle?
Holy shit. Are
Like
you?
that shit.
Holy fuck. Are you a Frank Ocean fan?
Only what you've showed me and a couple other ones. Like I know Crack Rock, and I know
Oh, yeah.
Super Rich Kids.
Dude, so
And what's the fucking My guy pretty like a girl, and he got fight so.
Oh, Chanel.
Chanel.
Yeah, those are some pretty great songs. I feel like his songs have, even within his albums, like it takes like time for my brain to shift into a a shape that'll like interact with that puzzle piece. You know what I mean? Because he has like songs that like have crazy subject matter. Whether it comes to like being homosexual to being fucking.
Oh, is he fully gay?
I believe so. Yeah, or he's like bisexual or something, or it's like
didn't
or
know
even
that.
like the shift from like thinking you're fully straight to thinking you're fully gay to knowing you're like
Yeah.
bisexual. You know what I mean? I feel like that's an interesting
Yeah, that's good.
subject matter to like roll through. And then he talks about like being accepted and um like the life of like being an outsider among like rich kids too, which is
Yeah.
like something I relate to, but like just being an outsider in general in multiple
Yeah.
different situations. But I wanted to say that I wanted to bring him up just because you said you listened to like Do I Want to Know on the
Mhm.
game like 2 years before, and then you started listening to them. But like I don't remember, it was probably in 2012 like when Channel Orange came out and I was like 10 years old, but I started listening to Frank Ocean and
Channel
I
Orange is
did
such a
not
good
like
album.
it. Like I put on Channel Orange and I was like, this guy sucks. This guy, this
Who the fuck is this?
what
guy?
is this Orange album? Why does it suck so bad? Like when he like fucking, he's like high pitched as fuck. Like I can't understand what the fuck he's saying. You know what I mean? Like give me this white. I want some white pop shit from the radio. But it was like so long ago that like Spotify wasn't even a thing yet.
Yeah.
Like you know how you can like pick songs on Spotify now?
Yeah.
You used to not be able to do that at all. Like it used to only like premium was like fucking commercialless radio. It was like the same as Pandora.
That's crazy.
So like at this time like I'm like trying to find music streaming services, and the one that was working for me was like instead of like radio it was like RDO. And like that's where I first found Frank Ocean, and I just think it's so crazy that like 2 years later I find his album the one that he put out after Channel Orange. Fuck, what was it called? Pink and White? Or not
Pink
Pink,
and White.
not Pink and White. Blonde. Pink and White's
Oh.
a song on there.
Okay.
But that's like where a lot of his songs about homosexuality, like in his experience with like dealing with it, like come about. But
Yeah.
like I remember like listening to that and only liking like the songs that are, it's almost like he has songs that were like meant for like base level ears, and then he has like songs for like advanced level ears that were like
Yeah, like different difficulties.
not even difficulties, but it's like experience
Yeah,
levels where it's like,
exactly.
oh, if you've heard like all the strings in the world, like you don't need to hear like another string piece. Like what if I like experimented with my voice and the strings and
Yeah.
like, you know, brought something else out to the table. But
I always love to hear that. Like when
Yeah.
artists are like getting experimental and trying to figure out like more things that they can do to expand.
me
on their style.
too.
That's
I
so
love
good.
that too. And
I was sorry. Continue what you're saying.
no, I just feel like it's kind of sad that like he's not explored more, or he doesn't release new music as much, and like people don't talk about him as much because he's such a great artist.
He
And I
deserves a
feel
lot of
like
attention,
yeah, and I feel like you're almost seemed as like basic now for like listening to Frank Ocean.
I feel like people who listen to Frank Ocean are cool as hell.
Really?
Yeah.
I feel like
I feel
whenever I tell someone I listen to Frank Ocean, they think I'm trying to fuck.
Nah. I
Like-
mean that. I feel like Frank Ocean is in this like category in my mind of like there's this very specific. There are 4 artists that are in the same category for me in my mind: Frank Ocean, Rex Orange County, Tyler the Creator, and Joji.
Really?
They're all like a similar kind of person and a similar vibe that listens to those musicians, and I feel like you fall into that category. Do
I
you
feel
listen to
like
those
that
4?
whole. Oh yeah, I listen to all of them, but I
Yeah.
feel like included in that is like Claro and
No, I feel like-
Kuko and
And who?
Kuko.
Oh, Kuko. I don't know. I feel like those
And Daniel Caesar.
those are very close, but they're like adjacent. Do you know what I mean? Like it's similar, but like those four, I feel like fit so well into this like neat little grouping. And Claro is like a little bit outside of it, but like these four, rabbit. There's a rabbit right behind you.
I thought you said grab it, and I was like, holy
Oh, there
fuck,
was
what
a
do you
bunny.
mean grab it, man? What do you mean?
I don't know if a camera even saw that. You might have seen the bunny approach, but there was a rabbit.
This is a
like,
fat ass
right
rabbit, bro.
there. Big ass rabbit. I'm staring at him. Sorry, ADHD as fuck. How long have we been doing this for?
A long time.
How long is a long time?
Like an hour 20.
Oh Jesus
I didn't
Christ!
think it was running that long.
I kind of got a sense that it was going a little long, but like, good conversation, so I'm here for it.
Yeah.
Do you want to rap or do you want to talk for a little bit longer?
I can't remember what we were talking about.
We were talking about music artists, Joji,
music artists,
Frank
right?
Ocean, Tyler, Rex,
And Rex.
Claro,
Joji.
Kuko.
It's funny that you say that because it's like if you really think about that, Joji, like to me, there's like genres, right? And
Yeah.
then there's like happy and sad.
Yeah. Oh, I so get that. I always classify my music as like happy to sad and then like energy level. You know what I mean?
Right. And then like beyond energy level, there's like genre. You know what I mean?
Like sound.
Because there can be like happy slow songs,
Yeah.
or like sad slow songs. or,
Yeah, like We're Not Just Friends by Park Squares and Alleys is a song that I like, but it's like a slower, kind of like down-tempo song, but it's happy. You know what I mean? It's a love song. It's about being happy with a person, but it's slow. It's chill. You know what I mean?
Do you think music can? Do you think it has any like real deeper meaning, or do you think it's like something that tickles our brains in a fancy
It
way?
absolutely has a deeper meaning. Music is like everything to me. I've built so much of my like who I am around music. Music is one of the most important things that there is to me. It is, I mean, it's not just that it tickles our brain. It's meaningful. It connects with us on such an emotional level. Like, you know those moods where you feel a certain way and you're like, I have a song for this mood, and then you play that and it like interfaces with that emotion in a way that makes you feel warm. You know what I mean? You're angry, so you need to yell. You're sad, so you need something comforting. You're happy, so you want something upbeat. Like,
That was definitely like more of a what is it? Not allegorical question, but rhetorical question.
oh, okay.
Because like I definitely think
you
music
know.
is meaningful, and like
Music is one of the most meaningful things there is to me.
I think Mac Miller said it best when he was like, there's something about being able to express yourself without actually having to use words. You know what I mean? And I think
it's like magic.
yeah, I think that's
Just a guitar riff can make you feel an emotion.
It's cathartic. Being able to play a piano riff or or like guitar riff or like a song that resonates with how you feel at the moment. Like I remember going through that breakup I was talking about earlier, and like the one of the few like a lot of the songs that I know how to play on piano are like sad breakup songs or like love songs.
Because when you were learning, I remember it was right around that time. So.
And like I would I was alone and I played this song, and it just like it felt like I don't know, like I played it and for anybody who wants to know what it is, it's like Break Your Heart Again by Phineas.
Oh, Phineas is good.
Yeah, and
I like Phineas.
the piano part to that just like made me fucking, after I played it, I just like sobbed because I don't know, I just felt like I got something out that I definitely couldn't have got like explained, you know?
There's this do you know Mona Lisa by Phineas?
No.
That's probably, it's one of the only Phineas songs that I know. I only know a couple of them. But that one, it just makes me so like purely happy because someone I really care about showed me that song. And, like, it just evokes this very specific emotion. I love how there's another fucking bunny. It's a different bunny. It's behind you. That's a different bunny. Where the fuck are they coming from?
So to describe the first bunny, it was like fat and like kind of tall and then robust, and this bunny's like flat to the ground.
Yeah, it's low to the
and
ground and
very
it's
like
skinny.
long, and the legs are short, kind of like that bunny from Bambi.
Thumper?
Thumper,
Yeah.
kind of like Thumper.
Sorry, what the fuck was I talking about?
I think we keep talking about songs that people don't know, so we're just gonna wrap it up around here.
All right, yeah, let's wrap it.
All right, I hope you guys enjoyed. This was a great fucking conversation for me.
Hope you don't get sick of me because I plan on sticking around.
Oh God, we'll have Liam on back soon.
Yeah, hopefully.
Oh, for sure we will. For sure.
This
But
was a
yeah,
blast.
guys, if you haven't already, thank you so much. Like, leave a like, subscribe if you haven't already, and thank you so much for watching to this point. Yeah. All right.
Peace.
Peace.
We said that at the same time.